Yes,
Yes,
Vikas.
yes.
Yes, because yeah, yeah,
Vikas,
yeah.
can we
I
record
hope
this
you are.
session?
Yeah, you can. So, uh, most of you must be aware that in the Power Center, there is a XML transformation is there. Okay. And in that asset list, also we have seen that through the any kind of conversion tool, we cannot convert that kind of transformation or that kind of mapping. Means it's that mapping we have to create from the scratch. Okay, related with the XML transformation. So we were not aware. I also not done this in the previous project also. Okay, things related to the XML transformation. So that's why I decided to just let's discuss about this and let's try to get some knowledge so that we can apply it in our project. So some of you must have tried in the Informatica cloud. We have the hierarchy parser transformation. Okay. So instead of directly having the XML transformation, we have the hierarchy parser transformation in the Informatica cloud. Okay. So what exactly it is, as you can see, I have mentioned it, the hierarchy parser transformation convert the hierarchical input into the relational output. Okay. So what exactly mean by the hierarchical input here? So hierarchical input is nothing but our XML files or the JSON files. Okay, that is the exactly the meaning of the first statement. Okay. So what exactly this parser hierarchy parser transformation is doing? Converting the hierarchy input in the sense the XML files or the JSON files into the relational output or into the flat file output. Okay, that is exactly the function of hierarchy parser transformation. Okay, as you can see in this figure also, I have tried to show you that you can see there is a XML file at the source. I hope all of you can see, correct? And in between there are certain transformation, and lastly we have the target table. Okay. So this transformation, what exactly it does, it processes the XML or JSON input from the upstream transformation and provide the relational output to the downstream transformation. Okay. So in the upstream transformation, in the sense for the source, we are going to give the which kind of file, the hierarchical input. All of you are getting these.
Yes.
So our hierarchical input going to be what? The XML source file or the JSON source files. Okay, that will be our source. And after that, we are going to have our particular hierarchical transformation. Okay, and then other transformation can be there, depends on what kind of operation you want to perform on that particular XML data or the JSON data. Okay, so that is exactly the concept of hierarchy parser transformation. Okay, what exactly it does? It convert the XML or JSON input into the relational output. Relational output in the sense we can have in the target we can have the table. Okay, or you can generate the flat file as a target also. Okay, so whatever data is there in that particular hierarchical input means whatever data is there in that XML file or JSON file, that input we are going to convert as a relational output. Okay, so you can capture the output in the. So I'm getting the noise from somebody. Okay, so we can get the output in the form of the flat file, or we can get the output in the form of the relational as a, for example, if you have the Oracle connection, we can get the output as a table also. Okay, in the Oracle database. So this concept is clear. What exactly the hierarchical parser transformation? Then we'll see the next part.
Yes, Vikas.
Yes.
All of you are getting what source we are going to have. So there is a in current project we are going to have the XML or JSON kind of source. Okay. So there are almost 5 to 10 mappings will be there. Okay, related with this kind of source and the transformation. Okay. So I hope the concept is clear what exactly the hierarchy parser transformation. Okay, now let's see the another details related with that. Okay. Now, how we are going to configure this particular transformation and the mapping and all these kind of things. Okay. Now, if you want to implement the hierarchical parser transformation, the first thing that we have to do, you can note it down. First thing we have to configure or we have to create the hierarchical schema. Okay, that is the first important thing. What we have to do? We have to create the hierarchical schema from the Informatica Cloud component. Okay, there is an option in the, if you go to the Informatica Cloud and if you click on the new button, you will have the mapping task flow, and at last you will have option like components. So in the under the components, you will get the option as a hierarchical schema creation. Okay. So that is the first requirement for the hierarchical parser transformation. That is what you should have the hierarchical schema created. Okay, now what exactly this hierarchy schema? So here I have mentioned the hierarchical schema is nothing but what it using that we can define the hierarchy of the output and structure and content of the XML file. Hierarchy of the output in the sense ki which particular node will be the root node. Okay, and then which other nodes will be the sub root and etc. This kind of things. Okay, I will show you in that XML file. That is the first thing, means we can define the level of the output. Okay, which will do the column first, then column second, like that kind of things. Okay, so in which order we want the output. Okay, that we can define in this particular hierarchical schema. Okay, and another important thing there, we can describe the structure of XML file. Okay, structure in the sense what? Structure and the content of XML file means what? Now within that XML file, we are going to have our fields or columns, correct? So what is the type of that fields, columns, etc. Okay, that everything we are going to describe in this hierarchical schema. Okay, so two important things we are going to describe in the hierarchical schema. One is what? The expected hierarchy of the output data, means in which order you want the output. And second thing, the structure and content of the XML file. Basically, the structure of the XML file. Structure in the sense data type of that particular field, etc., etc. Name of the field and data type of the field. So before you create the mapping and you add the hierarchical transformation in that mapping, first thing that you have to do is what? You have to create the hierarchical schema. And what exactly the hierarchical schema that I have just explained. So all of you got what first thing you have to do and what exactly it is hierarchical schema.
Yes.
So in
Yes.
short, you can keep it. In short, you can keep in mind hierarchical schema. In hierarchical schema, we describe the structure of the XML file. Simple structure in the sense data type of the field, etc., etc. Okay, is this clear?
Yes. Yes.
Vikas,
Yeah.
I do have one question. Like for every XML source, then we have to create a separate hierarchical schema, right?
Yes.
Because
Yes. Yes. I
as
will.
the field and data type has been changing,
Correct.
so for each XML we have to create a separate hierarchical schema.
Yes. Yes. Now at this point, I'm not sure the source will be the XML or JSON, but we can consider the it must be a XML only. Okay. Even if the JSON will be there, the process will be the same. Okay, I will show you. Okay, is it clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now, next thing, now here in the higher, when we are creating the hierarchical schema, there we have to provide one sample file.
Yeah, Vikas.
Hello. Okay, it might be a late response.
Yes,
Okay.
Vinod, you were trying
So,
to say something. Vinod was trying to say something.
yeah, Vinod.
Vinod?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm audible.
So, yeah, Vinod.
Hello. I think
Hello.
there is some net. Hello.
Yes, you are audible now.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that Vikas, I want to add one point that coming to ask for that
Hmm.
hierarchical schema for
Hmm.
each and every source. Yeah. So in basically in IICS when we are means using that XML converting those XML transformation to as a with a hierarchical schema. So that time we required to define that means create the hierarchical schema as per the that power center source target. There
yes,
are two different. Sometimes they are using in at source level. Sometimes they are using as a matlab means hierarchical schema is like the hierarchical
Yeah,
schema writer or reader.
yeah.
So
This is we are discussing the hierarchical parser. So in the hierarchical parser, in the source we are have the XML. Okay, in the hierarchical builder, if you go to the hierarchical builder, there in the target we need the XML.
no, that I think hierarchical builder when we are having XML generator transformation in Power Center, that time we are using the hierarchical builder. I
Yeah.
think
When you are in the source, when you are having the relational input and you want to convert into the hierarchical output, means if you want to convert the relational input into the XML or JSON, then you can go for the hierarchical builder transformation.
right.
Yeah. So here what we are discussing here as per our project in the project we are having the source as a XML. Okay. So when you have the source as a XML, then we are going to have it as a hierarchical parser transformation. Okay. And in order to create the hierarchical parser transformation and configure it in your mapping, first thing that we need to create is what? Hierarchical schema. Okay. Now when you are creating the schema, there also we need to give the one particular sample file. Okay. So that what exactly that sample file, I will come to that. Okay. So this is clear we have to create the hierarchical schema. Okay. So as already we have discussed, the hierarchical parser transformation convert the hierarchical input like XML or JSON based on the hierarchical schema that you associate with the transformation. So based on the hierarchical schema you create, the particular conversion will happen from hierarchical input into the relational output. Okay. Now, if you have already created a hierarchical schema, then we can use it as it is. Okay. And if it is not that, then we have to create it. We have to configure it. Okay. Then let's see the next part. What exactly the hierarchical schema and how we are going to create that and what we need to create that hierarchical schema. Okay. So as already I discussed, the hierarchical schema describe the structure of the XML or JSON file that we are going to provide in the mapping. Okay. Now, as I said, when you are creating the hierarchical schema, we have to use one particular sample file. Okay. And that sample file is referred as a .xsd. Okay. It stands for what? The XML schema definition here in the below part I have mentioned. Okay. So all of you are aware with the XML. It stands for the extensible markup language. Okay. Now, when creating the hierarchical schema, we have to give one sample file. And what exactly that sample file? That sample file is the XSD file, .xsd file. Okay. So what exactly that XSD file? XML schema definition means it is describing the structure of your XML file. Understood? So it's long form only giving us the idea what exactly this XSD file. Okay. So as per our first requirement that we have to create the hierarchical schema, correct? And you have to create the hierarchical schema, we have to provide the XSD file. Okay, the structure file. Now, in case of our project, this XSD file it might be possible that we'll get it from the customer or we have to create this. Okay, so we'll see that, but here I will show you what exactly that XSD file also. Okay. Now, as I said, the hierarchical input can be a JSON file or the XML file. Okay, so what exactly that XML that some of you must be knowing, JSON stands for the JavaScript object notation and XML stand for the extensible markup language. So these are the kind of language using which we can store data and transfer the data over the web. Okay, like we have the HTML. Okay, so HTML is for the visual representation. Okay, but using the HTML, you cannot transfer the data over the web. Okay, so if you have to do that interchanging of data over the web, then we can have this kind of language like JSON and the XML, like the extensible markup language. Okay, so as I said, the both of these JSON and the XML are used to store and interchange data. Okay, in the machine understandable form as well as the human understandable form. Okay, so there are also the differences between these also, JSON and the XML. Okay, functionality is same, but using the JSON, we can have the less size file. Okay, means we can accommodate the huge amount of data with the less size file if you use the JSON file. As compared to the JSON file, we have the XML file with the large size kind of files. Okay, so it depends on the customer what they have used, JSON or the XML. Now our process of the conversion will be the same only. Okay, we have to use the hierarchical parser transformation only there. Okay, so basically the JSON and the XML, these are just for the storing the data and transferring the data over the websites. Okay, web. Okay, and as per our first requirement, we need to create the hierarchical schema. And in order to create the hierarchical schema, what we need? We need the XSD file. Okay, this is the first requirement. Okay, XSD file, XML schema definition. Okay, so as here also I have mentioned, XSD used to define the structure and the content of the XML documents. Okay, so up till this, any doubt you are having?
I had one question because so this is a
Yeah.
generic process, right? We would follow the
Right.
same for all XML kind of transformations, right?
Yes, yes, yes. This is a generic process. Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Now regarding this XSD, okay, Thomas, regarding this XSD file, I'm not sure whether it will be provided by the customer or we have to create it. Okay, I will show you what exactly that XSD file. Okay. But definitely XML we are going to get from the source. It will be from the customer side only, XML or the
Right,
JSON
we
file
see
as
XML
their
yes,
source.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
as their source. Correct. But I'm quite doubtful about the XSD. Okay, we'll confirm that. That will also we'll get it from their side only because I don't think it will be in our scope to develop that XSD file. Okay.
Right, right.
So this is about the key general idea what exactly it is. Now let's see the different steps, and same steps we will apply practically to create this parser transformation, hierarchy parser transformation. So as I said, first step is creating the hierarchical schema. Now, to create the hierarchical schema, we need the XSD file that I will show you. Then second, adding that particular hierarchy transformation into the mapping. That's the second step that already must be aware. And then associate the hierarchical schema with the hierarchy parser transformation. We have to add the hierarchical schema that you have created into the hierarchy parser transformation. And then we have to do the field mapping and all these kind of tasks that we usually do for the another kind of transformation also. Okay, so this step will apply practically, then you will get the clear idea. Just you can note down the step and we will follow the same step while creating this particular hierarchy parser transformation. Okay. Now let's go step by step. First, we will create the hierarchical parser transformation. Okay, so now before we going to create it, let me show you the XSD file. Okay. That we are going to use while creating the hierarchical schema. Okay. Okay, this is the XSD file. All of you can see.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now in this XSD file, you can see this is the root element. The first one is the root element ship order. Okay. Then next there will be the field related with that particular root node or the root element. Now this will be your first column. Okay. Likewise. Then this is the another element. You can say it as a subroot, as ship order is the first root element. Then this is the subroot element. Okay. When we'll see this in the mapping, then you will get the more clear idea. And under this ship to subroot element, we have this, its fields are there, like its columns are there. You can see this. Name, address, city, country. Okay. And in front of that, you can see its data types. Okay, we don't have to go into the deep related with this XSD file. This is the XSD file, XML schema definition file. Okay, as in the previous PPT we have discussed, the XSD file is containing what? Structure related with our XML file. Means in our XML file, what kind of data is going to be there? Okay, their data types, etc. we are going to define in these XSD files. Its fields and their data types. These all the things we are going to describe in this XSD file. Okay, so this XSD file we are going to provide when you are creating the hierarchical scheme. Okay, so here the first element is considered as a root element. Okay, and this will going to utilize when we are going to configure the mapping. Okay, now just try to understand here what exactly the format. Okay, how these fields are look like, that all the things that you can observe in the mapping itself. So do you got the XSD file and what exactly it contains?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So basically you have to just keep in mind it contains the different fields and its related data types. Okay, that's it. So this is the XSD file that we are going to utilize. So let's go to the creation of hierarchical schema. Okay. Now you have to keep in mind there is a no conversion related with this XML source. We don't have any conversion. Means the in their asset assessment only they have mentioned we have to create this particular mapping and the transformation manually. Okay, so it is like the development part. So if you go to the new asset and the components, you can see here hierarchical schema. Okay, so create hierarchical schema. So I give here hierarchical schema name demo. Okay, location. Now here I have to choose the sample file. So that is our XSD file. I'm going to choose here. So this is my XSD file. Click OK. Save. Okay, first step is done. That is creating the hierarchical schema. Okay, we have created it. Any doubt here? Everybody clear about the creating the hierarchical schema?
Yes, Vikas.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the XSD file that we'll see. Okay. Then next step, now go for the creation of the mapping. Okay, I will give here the name as a hierarchical parser. Now, first we have to configure the source. Now in the source, we will take the connection as a flat file. Okay. Now here we have to provide the XML sample file. Okay. Now that XML sample file is going to contain our data. Now let me show you the XML sample file. Here you can see this will get from the Power Center itself. So this is your XML sample file. As you can see, same field you can see here, the name, address, city, country. Then here you can see the initial part, order ID. Okay, order person. The same field we have there in the XSD file with its data types and other details. So here I have provided the data name as a VND. You can see here. Okay. So this is your root node or root element, and this is the subroot you can consider. So address Maharashtra, city Pune, country India, and end of these nodes. So this is what XML sample file, which is now you can see it is containing the data. But this data is in the form of what? It is in the form of the XML. Is it clear?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, Vikas.
Okay.
Yes.
Now what? Now we are going to implement it in another way. Means this as a like indirect file we are going to implement it. There is another way also. Now let's see here. We have created the path. Okay, here you can see the path for XML. Now in the path for XML, I have given the path where my sample XML is located. So just now I show you the XML sample file. That path only I have given here. Okay, it's in the E drive under the R38 training flat file, and in the flat file I have my sample XML file. Okay, I can let me show you.
Because
R38
it's
training.
somewhat like file list we were having
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
which.
yeah. So you can have directly also, but I am showing you the more complex way. So we have to be
Okay.
prepared for the more critical way. Okay. Then in the R38, we have the flat file. And in the flat file, we have that sample XML that just I show you this one. So I have just created one, what you can say, I have just created one text file. In that text file, it's a different one. In that text file, I have just given the path, just like the indirect file. Okay, where we used to choose the file list and that kind of option there. Okay, here you can see. Okay, just the path of the file and name of your sample file. Now this we have to choose here in the source. Now you can choose here the file list option also, but as you can see here, we have the only one file here. Okay, only one file here. So no need to choose the file list. You can choose the single object if there is a only one file. If multiple files are there, then definitely we have to go for the file list. In the both the way we can work it out. Now here we have to select that txt file. So this is the txt file where we have given the path and the name of our XML file. Okay, so that path file reflected here. Save it, and then next we'll add the our hierarchical parser. Here you can see. Okay, so until you will not configure these, you will not get the option here to link it with the next transformation. You can see there is a no option, correct? You are not having any link to connect it to the next transformation. So first we have to configure it, then you will get that option. So incoming field, we have the path file. Then if you go to the input setting, now in the input setting, there are the two options, input type buffer or the file. Now here we are usually utilizing the file. Okay, we have given the path of the file. That's why you have to choose the file option here. Now when to choose the buffer option? When in the source, you will directly give the XML file, not the particular indirect text file. Then you have to choose here what? Buffer. Are you getting the difference when you have to select the buffer and when you have to select the file?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
When in the source, you directly select the XML file, then you have to choose here the buffer. But if you are choosing the indirect file, then you have to choose here the file and then go to the select. And here you have to select your schema. So in the schema, we have given the name like this as a demo. So here you can see the hierarchical schema demo. Select it. Then as soon as you select it, you will get the option to link it with the next transformation. Okay, so save and then connect, link this both the transform, it's upstream and the downstream. Okay. Let's see the different option here. Then input field selection. Now in the input field selection, we have to map the particular field which is coming from the source. So this is the path file which is coming from the source. So just you have to map it here. Then field mapping. Now in the field mapping, here is the important part. Now you can see here, as I said, the root element. So ship order is our root element, and under the ship order, there are the two different fields are appearing. You can see, okay, order ID and the order person. Okay, that I have shown you in the XSD file. And another node is there, that is the ship to. under which we have the option like name, address, city, and the country. Okay. Now here we have to do the here we have to map the field so that we can have that field in the our relational output. Okay. Now in order to map, here is a slightly different options are there. Okay. Now if you click on this particular box, you will see the two options are appearing: map all descendants and map immediate children. Okay. So if you choose map all descendants, then all the fields will get mapped. Okay, let's see. As you can see here, the field names on the left side and the map field. All the fields are got mapped like the automatic mapping, the auto map that we used to do in the target. Okay, but now let me unmap. There can be a case where you don't want to map all the fields. You just want to map the immediate children. Immediate children in the sense, this is the parent node and these are two its children's order ID and the order person. So if you want to map that two fields only, just click map immediate children. Only that two fields will be get mapped. Here also similarly you can apply map immediate children and save this. Okay. Now, whatever fields you have mapped here, that will be appear in the output field. You can see here. So this is going to be in our target. Okay. Is this clear? Field mapping?
Yes.
Okay. When you try it by yourself, then you'll get the more better idea. So then the output field, this field will get. Now next part is what we have to link this particular transformation to the next. Now, when you are trying to link these, you will get the option there to select. Let's see. So once I try to connect that previous transformation to the next transformation, I am getting here the option, select the output group. All of you can see this, select the output group. Now in the output group, I have the root element ship order. So that you have to choose here. Okay. Now here in this particular input field selection, here in the field mapping, if we have the multiple root nodes, then when you are trying to map these, let me cancel this. When you try to map these, we'll get the more than two outputs, more than one output group also here. Okay. So that case is a different. Now try to just focus on the select simple single output group. Okay. So whenever you try to connect this previous transformation with the next transformation, you will see here the root element will be get reflect here, and you have to select that as output group and click on OK. Then next part you have to configure the target. Now in the target incoming field, you can see you have that all the field which are there in the output field of the hierarchy parser transformation. So target here you can choose the flat file as a target also, and I will show you the target related with our relational Oracle also. So single object. So we'll create this flat file at the runtime. .csv. Okay, so no field mapping will happen here because this is going to be generated at the runtime. Save this. Okay, and run this. Okay, you can see the one input row and one output. So let's see to my flat file location. So here is our target file parser demo. And here you can see the different columns with their particular data. Now let me say show you the sample XML file. So you can see this is the XML source, and this we have converted it as a flat file. When you convert it into the relational, that will be also the same. Okay, only it will be get created in the Oracle database. Okay, the same field we were having here, but that is a part of the XML document, which we have converted it as a flat file output. Okay, now let's try to generate the particular relational output as a by giving here the our now here I am having the parser 3 as a empty table here. Okay, this is the empty table. Now we'll try to use that table here in the target. So select the connection. So I have the Oracle connection here. So name of my table is a parser underscore 3. So in the our project, our target might be the Teradata or it might be the flat file also. Okay. So accordingly, we can do that. So automatically field got map, just save it and run it. Okay, only one field we were having. So let's go to the database and run this query once again. And so you can see here the same data that we have passed from our XML sample file. The same data we have passed, same that we have got in the our Oracle. Okay. So in this way, we can implement this. Now, another thing that what if there is a multiple output groups? Now, when the multiple output group will be there, when there will be the multiple root elements will be there. Okay. And let me cancel. I already shown you. Let me show you once again. So when there will be the multiple root element, there will be the multiple output groups. Here, like one group has reflected, if there is a multiple root element, we will have the multiple multiple output group here. Okay. But if you have the multiple output group, even then only we can select the only one. Okay. Then how? What if you want to combine them? Now, if we want to combine them, then we have to use there the joiner transformation. Okay. And in that joiner transformation, we can combine that both the output groups, and then we can have the next part of the transformation. So we are not sure about how many groups will be there. So whenever it will come, that time we will see. But we should have the basic idea that I try to give you here. Okay. Now, in the similar way, you can implement regarding the JSON also related with the JSON as a source. I will send you the one document. By referring that document, you have to follow that document and you have to create the same kind of mapping and try it yourself. Okay, then you will get some doubts and then we can discuss regarding that. Okay, any doubt related with this? I hope all of you have got the basic idea of how exactly the hierarchical parser transformation works.
Yes.
Yes, Vikas.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can try this out if you want. I can provide you this file. You might be having the question from where I have got this file. Okay, sample XML and the XSD. Actually, this I have got from the Informatica site only. I will provide you this to you. Okay, these files. Until and unless you will not have this, you are not going to implement this part. Okay, I will provide you. And I will also give you the one article where using that you can have the JSON implementation, JSON as a source implementation. Okay, any doubt? Anything that you want to discuss?
Yes, Vikas.
Yeah.
I have one question. Like suppose
Hmm.
in PC we have a one mapping which contain the XML transformation, and it have other
Mhm.
than 10 transformation. So when we do the
Mhm.
converse run, so only the
Mhm.
XML transformation doesn't come, or the whole mapping we have to create this kind of like what is
Yeah.
the way?
So as I shown you here, I have just shown you the hierarchical parser transform. There can be a multiple transformation in between these also. Okay, based on the what kind of logic they want to apply there. Okay, there can be a multiple other transformation also. Suppose whatever data coming from hierarchy parser transformation, you want to perform some you want to, as I just said, you have to perform the join on them. Okay, that also can be done, or there might be some expression transformation, filter, whatever it may be. Okay, there can be a multiple transformation after the hierarchical parser transformation. Yeah. So it is
So,
just the basic idea I'm giving you.
so in that case we have to create the whole mapping from the scratch.
Yeah. That is the I'm saying. If you have the XML as a source, even if you try to convert it, we'll try it. We'll try to convert it. But as you know, last time we have, in case of some mappings, even if you try to convert until the end, also we are not getting the correct conversion. And then at last we have created it from the scratch.
Yes, yes.
So there can the number of mappings will be the less. Okay, but whatever it may be, 4, 5, that we have to create manually. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So before you go to phase that, you should at least know what exactly the hierarchical parser and what exactly it does. If it is there in the power center, how it can be get implemented in the IICS, this kind of things. Correct. Yeah. Any doubt? I hope all of you have got the clear idea.
Yeah.
Yes, Vikas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Vikas.
Yeah, Thomas. So I try here to give them a brief idea. I hope they have got the means this particular point. Okay,
Yeah,
unless and until, yeah,
this was a very good training. I mean, even it's
yeah,
very clear for me also. So
yeah. So I will
I
give
think
you
it
the
will,
one more, yeah, one more
for the
article.
others will be
It's
much better. Yeah.
yeah. So I'll give the one more article where you have to use the JSON as a source and try to do the
Correct.
same. Or I will provide this file also to you. You can do it in the same way. Okay. Yeah, Vinod, if you want to share anything.